most welcome to be my guest today. We have Gary Blanchard. Gary joins us from West Brookfield. Gary is a musician and he is a fantastic guitarist. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you.
And we ran into each. How did I find you? Was it on Craigslist?
It was on Craigslist.
That's how very often I will find fantastic people on Craigslist. And when I saw Gary, and then you sent me the two. These are just two of a number of DVDs. One's Ghosts of Forest Past, one is Singing for Peace. And when did you get interested in this?
I got interested in music as a child listening.
Hang on, Gary.
Interested in music as a child. I remember hearing the radio. I remember grabbing my little plastic ukulele to play along with the Banana Boat song by Harry Belafonte. And a little later hearing Peter, Paul and Mary and the Kingston Trio, and really felt drawn to folk style music. And finally in 1966 got my first guitar.
You did? Did you save for it, or did Mom and Dad get it?
My parents gave it to me for Christmas.
Yeah.
It was a $15 EJ Corvette special. The strings must have sat about a half an inch off the neck.
Oh.
And it's a wonder I ever learned to play.
Did you take lessons?
No, I'm self-taught.
You were self-taught? So you would play along with the songs, right?
I would learn chords that went with songs. And
you learned them on your own, or did you follow
with books?
With books.
Yeah.
And through high school, did they ever ask you to play?
I played a lot in high school. This was, of course, the late 60s, and I was doing a lot of music that was, related to the civil rights struggle and the anti-war struggle. So I got a lot of called on for a lot of special events. Oh,
I bet. Oh, I remember the dating myself, but I remember in college we took a couple days off with the black armbands, and we were, I think, making posters.
Right.
The older kids were more into it. When the newer little kids coming in freshmen, we were just kind of like. But it was fun. It was interesting.
The old Chinese proverb is, may you live in interesting times, and we have certainly done that.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? It's going to keep on coming too.
Sure.
So, do any of your children play at all?
My son plays bass guitar, but he doesn't play that much.
You are not from West Brookfield originally. You came in from Maryland.
I grew up in Baltimore, lived there for most of my life, then 5 years in Annapolis, which is the capital of Maryland. And then my wife and I moved here 7 years ago.
And it's culture change.
It's a big culture change, but I like the relaxed pace.
You think it's more relaxed here?
Oh, absolutely.
Than in Maryland?
Oh, sure.
Well, I guess that's more. Okay.
Right.
I'm thinking of out in the countryside down there.
Oh, yeah. And I live in the countryside in Massachusetts. So.
Yeah. Actually, Gary doesn't live far from where I grew up in Wilbraham. So, Gary, play us. There's a couple songs. Can you play us? Pick one of the two: Milk and Honey and Run River Run.
Let's do Run River Run first.
Go ahead.
That's a good warm-up song.
Yeah.
Run, river, run, run through the hills, run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your home beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me. Run through the land, you run through my soul. Bring me wisdom and peace. Run through the ages, all of life's stages, bring me round to find my release. Run, river, run through the hills, run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your home beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me. Run through the valley, you run through my heart. Bring me hope and relief. Run throughout time, you open my mind. You bring me comforts in my moments of grief. Run, river, run run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your home beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me. Run through the whole world, you run through my mind. Bring me to understand my place. Run through my mother, my sister and my brother. You bring me power to deal with all I face. Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your home beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me. Run, river, run to your home beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Yeah! Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Now, did you self-teach on that one? Did you self-teach yourself to do that yourself?
Yes.
It's so. How long have you been doing this now professionally?
Well, I've been playing guitar now and playing in coffee shops and the like for more than 40 years.
Oh, no wonder. No wonder it sounds so good. Oh my gosh. What do you prefer, the coffee shops or big events, or it doesn't matter to you?
It doesn't matter. I really like playing for people who are sitting and really listening to what I have to say. I've played all types of places, but the more concert oriented is my favorite, because people get to really sit and listen without a lot of other things going on in the background.
Something like at the Hanover Theater in Worcester?
Something like that, or the Singing for Peace concert that I did at the Brookfield Unitarian Universalist Church.
Now this was at the Brookfield Unitarian Church.
Right. And
what kind of an event was it?
It was, I did a benefit concert for the Center for Nonviolent Solutions.
Oh, now that's amazing, because I was going to be inviting them as guests on the show.
Okay.
And they reach out over there too.
Well, some people at the Brookfield Church were aware of them, and when we talked about doing this concert, they suggested them as a beneficiary for it. And it really made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So
this music goes right in with it.
Absolutely.
For nonviolent solutions?
Right.
Peace,
right.
baby, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You must have been really happy when they got a hold of you.
It was probably one of my favorite performances, and I'm so happy that the recording of it turned out as well as it did. Was it a large audience? It was a good size audience for the circumstances. And who does your wonderful taping for you? I do that myself. You do that yourself? Yes. The Ghosts of Bars Past CD was recorded in my living room. Yeah. And I had somebody I know from the internet from Ohio who did the mixing and mastering of it. That's amazing. Yeah. That's pretty good. I pictured you in the studio, like this huge studio, while somebody else was all right behind you doing the whole thing. Now, there are how many of these? How many do you have in all CDs? I probably have about 5 different CDs. 5 different ones. But these are, 2 of the newer ones, and some of the earlier ones I wasn't as aware of the need for the mixing and mastering, so the quality isn't quite what I would want it to be at this point. Well, this is beautiful quality. Thank you. Were these done fairly recently, or? Yes. The Singing for Peace was just done this past September. Oh, okay. And this one, The Ghosts of Forest That was Past. Probably done a year ago. I'm curious, on the picture on the CD, is that a nuclear plant? No, it's not a nuclear plant. What is that? And I'm trying to remember, it's somewhere from the Midwest. Again, somebody I know from the internet had posted that photograph that he had taken. It's a double exposure, and you see the industrial plant there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see the trees sort of in the background.
It's like infused into it, yeah.
And that
Mhm.
gave me the idea for the song Go So Far As Past, and became the theme for the whole CD.
Would you sing that for us?
Go So Far As Past?
Yeah. Would you sing that?
I will certainly try to.
Go So Far As Past, one of his many CDs. Here we go. It looked like a nuclear plant. Here we go in with the times.
Once there were forests, growing tall and free, reaching to the sky so gracefully. Those days are gone, they are fading fast, bringing us the ghosts of forest past. Then came the seekers, wanting something more. They found so many places to explore. They started clearing land, because the land had seemed so vast, leaving us the ghosts of forest past. Nothing lasts forever, some things go too soon. Something that seems timeless may disappear someday. Remember what is precious, and hold it in your heart. For the forest pathway becomes the next highway. We need to be mindful, think before we do. We must find a way we can start anew. We are one with nature, the time will come at last to resurrect the ghosts of forest past, bringing back the ghosts of forest past.
Did you write that?
Yes.
You wrote that yourself?
Yes.
Because I know some of the on here you know I've heard before, but this, how many do you think you've written yourself?
Oh, I've probably over the last 40 years written 100 or more songs. Most of the early ones I no longer do because they, quite frankly, weren't that good.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Or they were very tied into a particular time and circumstance and no longer hold their meaning or their use.
Well, that it definitely holds its meaning throughout, I think, everything. I'm thinking what's going on in the world today and different things. That's timeless.
It is. And it's actually a little unusual for me because it's one of the few songs I do that really points more at the problem than at a solution.
Yeah.
Mostly I like to do music that presents a solution, that presents hope, that presents a way forward, rather than just sitting around complaining about what the problems are.
But it makes sense. You know, it's not like rubbing anyone's nose in it. It's just, this is the way it is.
Right.
And how it looks to you, and like a lot of us.
Right.
Gary Blanchard, musician. If you'd like to have him at your event, whatever, Gary, let them know how they can reach you.
You can reach me on my website, which is www.garyblanchard.info. And there's contact information there. And I'm more than happy to come out to perform. I do a lot of benefit performances for organizations as well.
Would you consider weddings?
I would consider weddings.
Okay.
I don't know how many people would consider me for weddings.
There are probably quite a few.
But absolutely, I have done weddings in the past.
Reunions.
Reunions, sure.
Gee, I could just go on and on.
Absolutely, any occasion.
Any occasion, you're up for it.
I'm up for it.
He's up for it. And you will travel. You're in West Brookfield. How far would you travel? We have a huge audience out here, so
Yeah.
where you go, California?
Right, yeah. I have gone as far as Connecticut, New Hampshire. If the circumstances were right and then I had a place to stay, I would consider traveling further.
You would?
Yes.
All right. That sounds really good. Now, there's another part of Gary that I didn't know until I just met him today. He is a psychologist.
I'm a licensed counselor.
A licensed counselor.
And I have a private practice in Ware, Massachusetts, specializing in addiction counseling.
We need this so much. We were chatting about this before the show began, and having a family member, boy, can I relate to this.
It is a very tough thing. I come from a family with a lot of alcohol problems, and it just felt, I knew how they struggled, and I felt if I could help other people with the struggle, then that was a worthwhile use of my time.
So which college did you go to, Gary?
I did my undergraduate work at College of Notre Dame of Maryland, and then did my master's degree from Vermont College of Norwich University.
Vermont College of Norwich University?
Yes.
Is it in Vermont?
It is in Vermont, yes. Vermont College is now associated with Union Institute
Never
University.
Heard of it. Yeah. Is that new?
Not that new. They've been around for a while. I went in 2000.
Where is the Johnson College? I've heard of it. I know when I was a kid and applying for colleges.
Yeah.
What town is it
It's in Montpelier.
All right. I remember going to visit UVM, the University of Vermont. Remember Dad taking me up there.
Okay.
Maybe we did see Johnson. Was it Johnson State College?
No, it's Vermont College of Norwich University.
All right, so that's not Johnson State.
No.
Now, all right, so it's up past White River Junction.
Right.
Do you know where Plymouth State University is over in Plymouth?
No, I don't know Vermont that well.
The White Mountains? No, that's in New Hampshire.
Oh, in New Hampshire.
That's
okay.
where I went, yeah. So, all right, you were there and you got your master's up there?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you went back to Maryland.
Well, yes, and actually my master's program was a distance learning program, so I would go a couple times a year for a residency, and a lot of my work was done still in Maryland.
And Gary says that you do go up, is it once a month, to our ad care up here in Worcester?
Right.
Yeah. It supposedly has an extremely good reputation.
They have a wonderful reputation. I was aware of them well before I moved up to the area.
Yeah, they even have a hotline you can call if you're not feeling so hot.
Right.
You can call them and say help. They have, and now they've had to address all the different, you see it all the time, the different addictions. It's not just alcohol the biggie it was probably in our grandparents' day.
No. A very big problem right now is prescription drug addiction.
Does that top out heroin and pot and all the others?
I would say it's certainly easier for people to get and to get into. The problem with the prescription drugs, particularly the opiate drugs, is that it leads into heroin addiction because after a while the person has trouble getting the pills and the heroin becomes cheaper.
It's cheaper?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Somebody told me that pot cost more in Worcester than booze, and I went, you have to be kidding. I thought pot was just a little dime bag. I don't know anything about it, but I just heard that it was cheap, and evidently no.
No, it's changed a lot over the years, and the marijuana that is available now is much more powerful and potent because it's been hybridized, and it's nothing like what was around back in the 60s.
I remember trying it once. I kid you not, I felt awful. It's the most paranoid, horrible feeling. I was absolutely panic-stricken. And I remember telling the other kids around me, when does this wear off? When does this wear off? I kept saying, I got to be home, I got to be home. Never again. Some people have that reaction. Others don't.
Right.
It's wiring, isn't it?
It is, a lot of it is wiring.
Yeah. Same as with, how do you feel about the heredity aspect of it versus,
I used to question that, but as I say, there was a lot of addiction in my family. And when I would come up to visit my wife's family, I found that hardly anybody in her family drank, and if they did, they didn't drink that much. It was maybe, one drink, and that lasted them all day.
Yeah.
So that kind of convinced me that there is more of a hereditary part to it.
A wiring.
Right.
Then you take the family where the kid doesn't grow up with it at all. Not for religious reasons, they just don't, and they become alcoholic. Go figure.
Sure.
Was it somewhere a couple generations back, nobody spoke of it?
Well, I think that happens a lot, and I often tell parents when they have an addiction problem that, if they had a problem with diabetes or high blood pressure in the family, they would tell their children, and they need to tell the children about any possibility of an addiction problem.
Well, it's like playing Russian roulette. If you have one or both, God forbid, both parents that have been in addiction, in recovery hopefully, it's just like taking the gun to your head and say, let's see, I'll try it this time, and next thing you know, you're addicted.
Right.
It's Russian roulette.
It
One
is.
kid doesn't, the other does.
Right.
Do you see a lot more young people, I mean under 30 and over 30?
In my practice, I probably see from about age 18 up.
Yeah.
But it's amazing also the people who will come to me in their 60s who kept everything sort of under control until they retired.
And then they went.
And then with more time on their hands, the drinking eventually became more constant and more of a problem.
And then you have the dual diagnosis. There's a mental health issue too.
Absolutely.
Like bipolar or even like borderline personality. I mean, you get all that together, that's a Molotov cocktail.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Do you deal with that a lot?
Sure. Most people probably who present for treatment will have some type of co-occurring disorder.
I know that I've heard panic disorder goes along with it, PTSD, PTSD, it's the one the vets get, but it doesn't necessarily mean the one that the vets get. It could be from your own family or something that happened in your own life. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Post-traumatic stress disorder. People who grow up in abusive homes, women who have been sexually assaulted. It can come from a lot of sources.
I keep thinking how your music is healing. I would imagine, like at a place like AdCare, they would love to have you come. Did you ever think of that?
I've thought of it.
I think it would be great because it's healing. Somebody could be, I'm an artist, they could be like sketching or drawing or just doodling, and you're playing. How healing is that?
It could be very healing, depending on a person's tastes.
Yeah.
I had a discussion with my son about stress relief and using music to relieve stress.
Yeah.
And I was saying that when I'm stressed, I like to listen to Enya or some quiet classical music. And he told me, well, when I'm stressed, I listen to Marilyn Manson.
Okay, I relate to your son because you know what I put on? I put on Kiss.
Right.
Rock and roll all night. You know?
It's whatever you enjoy.
Yeah, it has to fire. It just, I don't know what it does. It's just the energy. It just does something with that.
So what I do may work for some people and then may not work for others.
Could you play Milk and Honey for us?
I sure could.
Talk about relaxing. Oh my gosh. This has been around for how many years, that song?
It's been around for just about 2 years because it's one I wrote.
Yeah.
But it's, of course, based on a lot of old folk songs.
Yeah. But I've heard it.
The water's deep and the water's wide. milk and honey on the other side. Sail out on the rising tide toward a brighter day. Sailing to the distant shore, toward a place I haven't been before. Opening a long closed door to find a better way. I don't know just where the ship may take me. I don't know what treasure I may find. I just know whatever's out there waiting is better than the world I leave behind. The water's deep and the water's wide, milk and honey on the other side. Sail out on the rising tide toward a brighter day. Set out on the open seas, set my sail into the gentle breeze. Won't you come along with me to help me find the way? The water's deep and the water's wide, milk and honey on the other side. Set out on the rising tide toward a brighter day.
Oh, you know where I can see you playing too is at schools.
Sure,
For elementary.
sure.
What a nice way to segue in with with the children too.
Right.
That would be really great.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I have a upcoming performance at the New England Folk Festival.
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be in Mansfield. It's their, I think, 68th year.
Mansfield, Mass.
Yes.
Okay.
Of having the festival.
Mm-hmm.
And this year I'm doing a program. It's a celebration of nature and music and poetry. And my wife Carol and my friend Richard Bachtold are joining me. So the three of us will be combining music and poetry and examining
Where in
nature.
Mansfield is it going to be held?
It's at the Mansfield High School.
All right, Mansfield High School, and it's at what date?
April 19th.
April 19th. Is that a Saturday?
That's a Friday.
A Friday, April 19th
At 10 p.m.
at 10 p.m. 10
the,
p.m.?
The festival goes on starting Friday evening and goes on through Sunday.
All night?
Well, not all night. We're one of the last acts of Friday night.
10 p.m.
And yeah.
Oh, you better catch your Z's.
I will have to catch up on my sleep because I'm a morning person, but...
Now, it took you about an hour to get here from West Brookfield to get to Upton. Now, how long is it going to take you to get there?
It takes about 2 hours, but we stay for the weekend.
Okay, stay up there.
So, yeah.
Any other events coming up that you can tell us about?
Actually, Carol and I, Carol Mays, my wife, and I are doing a multimedia program on April 7th at Brookfield United,
Unitarian?
Yes, Brookfield Unitarian
Gotcha.
Universalist Church.
Universalist Unitarian, okay.
And that's part of their 10:30 Sunday morning service.
And that's where this was?
That's where we recorded the Singing for Peace as well.
That's going to be a popular place. So if people want to see you, people may not have grasped that. Gary, give your information out again.
Okay, it's Gary Blanchard. www.garyblanchard.info is the website.
And if you want Gary to play at your event, if you want to come watch him, he has 2 coming up. One in Mansfield, April 19th.
Right.
And there's one closer, the April 7th, and that's in West Brookfield.
In Brookfield.
In Brookfield. Okay, so if those 2 coming up, if you didn't catch it quite quick enough, just get in touch with Gary and he can help you more. And you want to lead out with a song? How about, you pick one. You pick one.
Oh, okay, let's see.
Gary Blanchard, he's going to lead out the show. Take it away. Wrap it up. Which
I
one's it
will
going to
do a song, actually, that I wrote for my wife
Yeah.
a year before I met her. And when I met her...
A year before you met her, you wrote it for her?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I met her, I knew she was the person the song was about. Images of ages past coming out of the light. In my heart, I know the light has come from the heart of the sun. Time is a steady flow, takes us along with it as it goes. Time has brought us to this place, filled our longing with the state of grace. The light that shines is the light of love, shining out from the soul. Yin and yang, two hearts beat as one, from the heart of the sun, from the heart of the sun. Fire and water, yang and the yin, opposites blending, a new life begins. Ready and waiting to let the light in. Images of ages past coming out of the light. In my heart, I know that you have come from the heart of the sun, from the heart of the sun. I know you have come from the heart of the sun.
Thank you, Gary Blanchard.
Thank you.
See you next time and be my guest.